Civil War? I was. More than that, I was the president during the Great War. Although I became president as an adult, I had a very difficult childhood, which was very humble. At least when I grew older, things got better. My life started out with a very humble beginning. I was born on February 12, 1809, on the Sinking Spring Farm. I had a sister named Sarah who was super nice. Our farm was not very great, and it was hard to grow crops. Our neighbors lived on the other side of a river, and we would walk across a slippery log to get to their house. Once I was walking across the log when I slipped and fell in the water. I almost drowned. I would have been dead if one of the neighbor's kids had not saved me. One day, we were sitting around the fireplace eating supper when my father told us something. He told us that we were going to move to a frontier in Indiana. That was because our father got in a fight and lost some of his land. The farm in Indiana was way better than the old farm. One day a tragedy struck. My mother got sick and died. It was very sad. And after that, life was very hard. Soon our father told us he was going to go out and would come back with a surprise. When he came back, he brought us a new mother. The new mother's name was Sarah, and she brought all three of her children with her. After that, life was happy, at least until my sister Sarah died. As I grew older, I read a lot. I was very strong too. Although my life started out humbly, I lived on to do great things. As an adult, I did many things. I was a shopkeeper, a lawyer, and for a short while I was even a sailor. Once I sailed down the Mississippi River into New Orleans at night, when a group of river bandits tried to rob us. We fought them hard and I got hit in the head by one. After the river bandits were gone, the rest of the trip was smooth sailing. When we finally got to New Orleans, we saw a group of people crowding around an auction. It was a slave auction. I told my other crew member that one day I was going to put a stop to slavery because it was horrible. When we got back home, I met a beautiful woman. Her name was Mary Todd. We fell in love and got married. We had 4 children, Robert, William, Tad, and Edward. After that, I joined a political party with Stephen Douglas, who thought slavery was right. I thought slavery was wrong, so we got in lots of fights. I was also a state representative, and I tried for Congresses. What I didn't know was that the many things I did in my life were leading up to one big thing. I was president during the Civil War. The Civil War was the war between the Union, who were against slavery like me, and the Confederates, who were fighting for slavery. The war was very stressful. The only thing to do for fun was to play with my children. Later, I decided to sign the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed all slaves in the Confederate States. I became known as the Great Emancipator. Eventually, Robert E. Lee, who was the general of the Confederate Army, surrendered to the Union Army. As a grand celebration, we all traveled to the theater in Washington on April 14, 1865. There I was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth. Even after I died, I lived on in the hearts of many people. During my childhood, which was very humble, and adulthood, everything I did was building greatly up to the greatest accomplishment of my life, winning the Civil War. Since I was the president during the war, it was much more special when I won. I was a very amazing president, truly a man for the ages.